The meat locker incident, Dr. Harold Baines prided himself on being both a genius and a visionary. His claim he was going to revolutionize surgery by combining medical science with the culinary arts. Medicine is just cooking with higher stakes, he often declared, grinning behind his surgical mask. The scene was madness. A team of 27 surgeons crammed into an old, grease-streaked kitchen that smelled like rancid chicken broth and despair. The operating table was a repurposed food prep station, still sticky with remnants of yesterday's experiments. Above them, a flickering overhead light buzzed, casting dramatic shadows over a pig's intestine hanging precariously from the ceiling vent. "Scalpel!" Harold barked, holding out his hand. His assistant froze. We're out of scalpels, sir," she stammered, holding up a butter knife. "Will this do?" "Perfect," Harold replied without hesitation. "Improvise. It's all part of the craft." The patient on the table wasn't human, but it wasn't exactly an animal either. It was something in between, cobbled together from spare parts Harold had procured from the local butcher and, allegedly, his neighbour's freezer. A cow liver here, a human toe there, and just enough mystery meat to keep things interesting. One surgeon leaned in closer, trying to understand what he was looking at. "Is that lasagna?" he whispered to his colleague. "Yes, but with pancreas," the colleague replied, nodding solemnly. The procedure began in earnest. Harold sliced into the creature or creation with gusto, narrating every move like a reality TV chef. "You see, the trick to perfect organ alignment is all about seasoning. Pass me the paprika." "Paprika?" someone asked, incredulous. "Do you want this to work or not?" Harold snapped, sprinkling the spice liberally into the exposed cavity. Things took a turn when one of the interns, trying to take a selfie for Instagram, accidentally knocked over a vat of what they thought was ketchup. It wasn't ketchup. The room erupted into chaos as red goo splattered everywhere. "Code red! Code red!" Harold shouted, though no one knew if he was talking about the emergency or the stain on his apron. As the operation reached its peak, Harold raised a turkey baster like a sacred relic. "This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the final touch!" He plunged it into the creature's chest, injecting what could only be described as a thick, glowing green sauce. Suddenly, the creature twitched. Then its eyes, if you could call them that, snapped open. A deep, guttural sound filled the room, somewhere between a burp and a growl. The surgeons froze. "It's alive!" Harold whispered, a maniacal grin spreading across his face. The creature sat up, looked around, and then promptly hurled itself off the table, straight into the industrial-sized deep fryer. Silence. "Well," Harold said, pulling off his gloves, "who's hungry?" The team groaned as Harold plated the charred remains with parsley garnish. No one dared question the mad doctor. After all, in Harold's world, you didn't waste good ingredients, even if they fought back.